Well, hello everyone. I'm back with the Crafty Crew Kit from Crafty Stamp Company. I already showed an unboxing of this kit and it is so good. So today I thought I would make a card using this Camping Meadow stamp set, some of the paper, and then I'm going to also use that stencil right there. So let me just go through this paper. We're going to pick out some favorites today to create our card. I knew I had to use this green plaid right away because I fell in love with that. And then I wanted a tree also. So I'm looking through for the tree. Here's a good tree right here. I think we'll use that one, and that's going to be good right there. I'm going to save the rest of these papers to use for my next card. But today I think these ones are going to be great. And of course the stamp. Look at her. She's so cute. I wanted to color her up with a blue undertone hair with a darker hair but blue undertone. So I thought I would go through that today. I ended up making it a little darker than I wanted, but you can still see some of that blue shine through. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in my MISTI on a regular A2 size paper. And I want to make sure that I have enough room around it to cut out my oval. And yes, that's good right there. So that's why I'm stamping it kind of in the middle of this cardstock, because I knew I wanted to cut it out with that oval shape. I'm going to be using some Copic friendly ink today, and I have my Memento Tuxedo Black. So I will stamp it down. I recently got a brand new ink pad of this, and it has changed my life because it stamps so nicely. Before I was having to triple and sometimes even quadruple stamp my images. So I'm just super happy that I did that. I'm going to start with some dark blues, and this one is the BV29. It's quite a dark blue, but it's going to serve as an undertone color for my coloring today. Then I'm going to go in with the B69 and bring out some of that darker blue shade just a little further here. So I usually tend to go easy on my first round of colors, and then I can go and add some more after I get the first round done. Now I'm bringing in my dark grays with the N9, and then I'll go in with the N7 and the N5, and you'll see that it turns into a dark hair with blue undertones. It's really fun. It's fun to try. So this is just a flicking motion that I'm doing, and I'm trying to leave a highlight kind of near the front of her hairline here because I'm imagining that the light is coming from the front. And so then I will go in with the lightest N3 to go over all of that and just kind of leave that light in the middle. Kind of like that. And I think I'm going to probably go in with a little more blue here just to give it more of a blue undertone. You'll see in the pictures later on, the blue is going to show up a lot more. In the coloring process, it does look really dark, but close up you can see it. So fun. Now I might try this a little bit lighter next time with not so much of the dark gray and the dark blue, but I do love how it turned out in the end. Now I'm going to go in and do the same colors on the braid, and I'm just going in with the darkest shade where I think it will be the darkest on each of those braid sections, and I just go really slow. So let me give you a closer look here as I go through the blues and then the neutral grays. So again, just being very easy, going easy on the lines there, adding more blue where I think it needs more blue. This is where I brought in a lighter shade of the B66, and then that's going to show up even more with the braids. So I'll finish up the coloring here, going over all of that with the grays, just a little bit, bringing it out each time. So I'm just very, very slow and deliberate in how I color. And these images are so great for practicing coloring hair. and faces. So if you are looking to improve your coloring skills for hair and or faces, I think these are the perfect ones, and that's why I love coloring them so much. Every time I try a new color combination, and I just do really love these images. So there you can see the blue peeking through, and I did lighten it up on the braids there. And now I'm going to go in with some of my favorite shades for coloring skin. Starting with E04, then I'll go in and blend that through with the E11. And then I'll blend all of that through with the lightest color, which is E00. Now I am going to add some blush to her today, so I'll pull in a pink shade, but you can see that I'm just going through back and forth to blend these out, and I'll usually add a second layer of everything as well. But isn't she cute? She's coming together. She's got a little bit of a tan from being out camping, which is awesome. So here's where I pull in a pink shade, R83, and then I'm going to blend that all through with the E11 and then back to the E00. So her pink cheeks are a little dramatic, but I think that they turn out cute in the end. I love how she's looking. And then I'll go in and finish up her legs off screen. It's just the same thing that I do over and over again with the skin color. Now let's color up those hiking boots. I've got E33 here, E31, and E30, and that's going to be perfect for hiking boots. I'm going to go back in again with the darker shade and just make them a little more dramatic. Now for her shorts, I thought I'd make them jean shorts, so I'm using some of my favorite jean colors, which are B97, B95, and B93. And she's just about ready to go hiking here. She's got her hiking boots, pretty soon her jean shorts, and next I'll color her shirt. And for her shirt, I thought I would do kind of a camouflage color or an army green color, but I started coloring it up in those olive greens and I wanted it to be a little brighter, so I'll show you what I do when something like that happens. For now, I'm darkening up those shorts, and I really love how these turned out as well. Isn't she cute? She's very, very cute. So I'll just finish this one up before moving along to the shirt. And for the shirt, I'm bringing in some olive greens, as I mentioned, starting with YG95, and then I'll bring in a few lighter shades with the YG93 and YG91. I'll just color that through as normal. And this is where I start realizing this is too dark of a green. I want it to be brighter, more vibrant, kind of matching our green background paper. So I brought in this bright green, the G14, and then I pulled in an even different color. This is me thinking. So I started with the YG51. That didn't brighten it up as much as I wanted. So then I went back to the G14 and that did the trick. So this is going to add some of the bright green that I want, and you can see I'm leaving kind of an outline of the darker olive green around the edges. So when I blend this all through, it's quite fun and dramatic with a touch of the lighter green. It's fun. It's fun to change your colors up and switch them around a little bit. I also colored up her socks a green color using that G14 again for the brightness. And these socks are really small, so I thought just leaving them the bright green was fine, adding a little bit of the YG91. And there she is, but she needs some eye color. So I bring in the BG32 and give her a little shade of blue eyes, which I think is really fun. I just darkened it up a little around the edges, and now we're ready to cut her out with the oval shape. I'm going to go ahead and tape this in place and run it through my die cut machine, and then we will have a perfect camping meadow. I've got a larger oval here that I'm going to cut the green plaid cardstock from, and that's going to be our matte layer for her. And then I'm going to cut down the tree layer to be our card base size. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And look how fun you get that polka dot on the other side. I could have used that polka dot stripe for something, but I didn't. Instead, I brought in the stencil. I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the stamp set, and this says, "Stars make the best nightlights." I think that's perfect for this. So I'll go ahead and take the MISTI again and line up that sentiment right about there. I'm going to stamp this in some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm also going to heat set that with a clear embossing powder so it doesn't get smeared, especially when I do my stenciling. Now I'm testing it out first just to make sure it's in the right place, and I really like it, and that looks great right about there. So I'm going to remove my acrylic piece there and go ahead and stamp it down for real on my cardstock, just like that. And I think that looks great right about there. So I'll go ahead and add some clear embossing powder and heat set it with my heat tool. I like to put a piece of paper underneath so I can just funnel that right back into the jar. Makes it so easy for cleanup. And then I will put that away, heat set this. Now, heat embossing is what made me fall in love with stamping in the first place. So I love it when I can get a little bit of that in each project. Now I'm going to take the star stencil and some yellow ink. I'm going to tape my panel right down to my glass mat and use a magnet just for good measure for my stencil to stay in place. And then I'll ink on just around this girl using a smaller blending brush. And that's going to give her a bunch of stars all around. And I like how this turned out. I also like that I don't need to mask off the image because I can see through that stencil well enough to just ink around her. So there we go. There's our panel. And now we can start putting this together. I'm going to use liquid adhesive to add her to the plaid outline layer. And then I'm almost going to straight glue that down to our tree panel as well. And then I decide, you know what? I feel like this could use a little more dimension. So see, I'm putting it down and then I'm like, wait a minute, it needs dimension. So I pull it back up again really quick and I go for some foam tape. And this is double thick foam tape. So it's going to give a really impressive amount of dimension. And I'll add all of that, peel off the backer, and add it to our panel. Yeah, that's going to look great like that. So I'm just going to peel all of these off and add it to the panel. Now, doesn't she look like she's hiking through the forest? This is very cute. The last thing we need to do is add this to the card base. So I'll go ahead and get that all ready. And then we can put this together. And that's going to be our card and my first project with the Crafty Stamp Company Crafty Crew Kit for July. Again, I'll mention that this is a pre-order kit, so you can order from June 1st to June 15th, 2025, and get it for the July release. And I'll have all the details listed and linked below for you so you can check it out. There you can see some close-ups with the blue in her hair. I just love how this turned out. I hope you love it too. I had a great time crafting this with you. I'll be back with more projects to share real soon. In the meantime, I hope you're having a great crafty day. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.